Alright, what's going on, my scummy boys and scummy girls? We are back on PTB this time, though, to go over the Blight. And my initial thoughts, first impressions of him, the chapter, his beautifulness, and, of course, the other survivor. So, first off, the stats. Blight, usual 115 killer. It says tall, which is kind of weird because he's pretty much hunched over the whole time. But it is what it is. Now, the Blight, this Blighted Corruption just makes me think of a bouncy Billy, basically. Special ability, Rush. Press the power button and quickly rush forward. Doing so consumes a rush token. While performing Rush, the Blight cannot launch an attack. Rush into a wall or obstacle in the environment to slam on into it. Slam onto it? That seems weird. If the rush fails to connect with a wall or obstacle, or if the Blight is out of rush tokens, he will enter a short fatigue state and begin recharging the tokens. Initially, doesn't sound terrible, the not attacking. Initially I was questioning that, but I see the specialty attack down here and it kind of makes more sense. Because I thought it was just going to be a worse kind of Legion as far as chasing someone down, but can't just hit him. So following a slam, press the power button to launch a lethal rush. Doing so consumes a rush token. A lethal rush behaves the same as a rush, except that the Blight may launch an attack by pressing the attack button. So, like I said, it feels like a bouncy Billy. I mean, you don't get the one shot, but you just bounce off of shit and then hit people. Seems kind of interesting, though. Definitely gonna end up playing him when he comes to live, only because PTB finding a game is damn near impossible. But then he's got his 3 teachables. And then we're going to go over the add-ons. So first, Hex Undying. A Hex which maintains the vile power that flows through it throughout the trial. While Hex Undying is active, survivors within 2 meters of any totem have their aura revealed for 6 seconds. Seems pretty nice. Seems a little like you really gotta be looking for them totem hunters, but I guess it's a way to counter inner strength, is what I'm assuming. Keep them from countering that. It seems like it might be pretty good too with Noed. When another Hex totem is cleansed, that Hex transfers to an active available dull totem. Lose any tokens in the process. So I could totally see someone running Hex Undying and then running oh, what was the build I was thinking about doing? Hex Undying, Hex Retribution, and then Hex Devour Hope. Just those 3, and then you run Pop Goes the Weasel. This way, if they're within a totem, you know. If they cleanse a totem, Retribution shows them. If they cleanse Retribution, you see them, and Retribution transfers. Or, if they cleanse Undying, you see them, and you still get to keep... And you have 2 more chances before they find Devour Hope. Or, my favorite, they find Devour Hope, and it just keeps jumping from totem to totem to totem to totem. At least it could do it 3 times, but still, that is a build that when the Blight comes out, I'm going to level up this beautiful baby, and I'm going to try that build. I'm going to try it on Legion as well, even though the Devour Hope makes no sense. I'm still going to try it, just because I feel like I gotta. And then I'll try it also with Deathslinger, because I think it could be really, really good with Deathslinger to give him that kind of info. Especially because of his shot. If you have an open totem and he's gets within range, you can just pull him right off of it. Because most people are going to try to greed for the totem and try to pull, like, oh, hey, I got 1 hit, but at least I got rid of the Hex. They're less likely to do it with Huntresses because there's more of a threat, but with Deathslinger, sometimes they think they can just push it just because he's 110, and his shot, while is far range, is not far range enough for them to be scared. They think they can push their luck. But, like I said, I'll try this all out when it comes to live and when I get him leveled up. Next up, he has Hex Blood Favor. A Hex that gains the entity's favor when blood is spilled. When a survivor is hit, pallets within 16 meters of your location are held in place by the entity for 15 seconds. These pallets cannot be pulled down. I like the idea of this, and I like the fact that it's a 40-second cooldown. If this works with Legion and his Frenzy, because it does say when a survivor is hit, I think this could actually be a very good perk on Legion. Hit someone with Frenzy, and they just got to a loop. Well, as long as the Hex is up, of course. Now they don't have palette. Now they don't have like Killer Shack. They don't got the God palette. Maybe on a jungle gym they don't got the God palette, or they don't got the palette there. Or if you're in a place like Leary's and they try to get to that God palette in the hallway and you stab them before then, catch up to them and stun yourself underneath the palette, they might turn back to try to drop it and then realize that it's too late. Now you get a free hit, or you at least burn Dead Hard a little early because they want to try to extend the chase. So I see possibilities for this. The fact that it's a Hex makes sense, because if this was just a normal perk, like Survivors literally would have no chance, and it would be overpowered. And then finally we got Dragon's Grip. After kicking Generator for the next 30 seconds, the first survivor that interacts with it will scream, revealing their location for 4 seconds, and become afflicted with the exposed status effect for... Sorry, it's early morning for me, tired. And become afflicted with the exposed status effect for 60 seconds. And it has a cooldown of 80 seconds. So by the time that the exposed person is either downed or, you know, the exposed runs out, you only got really a 20-second cooldown is what I would consider that. If you kick a generator with Pop Goes a Weasel, which is the first thing I can think of with this, and someone comes up to interact with it and screams, well, there you go. You got someone to go to, and you know that they're fucking with the generator that is probably damn near finished. Now, if you run this with also Tinkerers, now you can come up and possibly either get a cheeky gen grab, or you can get closer to them before they notice, maybe get the insta down, and then pick them up, hook them, pop it again, wait for the next one. It could be a vicious cycle with the new Tinkerer. I definitely want to practice with a bunch of these. I want to try so many combinations, and I will be, like I said, when this comes to live, there will be lots of different video combinations for different killers on all this, because his perks are actually good. Like, I see good potential in all of them. Even if, like, this one, some people may not find as strong, or this one people might find too gimmicky, there's good potential in them. In Dead by Daylight, you don't really have a meta build that's fun too often. So if you can make a fun build that works, say, you know, 9 times out of 10, or 4 times out of 5, either whatever. Hell, maybe it only works half the time. It'd still be fun. Because if I can get a sneaky gen grab with, like, say, Ghostface, because I run this with just a usual build, and I just run in while they're screamed, and then I could just down them instantly, or grab them off the gen, like, why not be a complete terror with Ghostface? Why not run a shit ton of Hex perks and just watch them bounce around while they can't do anything to stop them until they cleanse this one specifically? Why not block pallets with Legion and make it so they can't loop you? Like, this all just sounds fun. Whether it sounds good or bad, or broken in some aspects, if you were to fix it in a certain way, it just sounds fun. These all sound fun. I love that. I love the fact that we actually have some fun perks to work with and to make some new builds. Because it's boring to have perks that are so linear that only work in one way, or only work maybe this other build that's only slightly less serious. For example, like barbecue and chili. Like, it's just a good perk all around, but there's no true actual fun factor to it where you can get funny little combinations. These perks have combinations, and they're good on their own. So all in all, as far as the perks, the power, I'd say so far it's looking like a good killer. I know I've watched a few videos, and the hitboxes are an issue, but it is PTB. I'm assuming that some of this will be fixed by the time it hits live, and if not, then they'll probably hot fix it again if the hitboxes are still an issue. So for right now, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's get into the add-ons, and I'll probably do the Survivor same video, even though I actually don't know anything about the Survivor, to be honest. It's one thing I didn't look up because I was just so excited for this boy. Alright, so first up for the Brown, we have Placebo Tablet. Slightly increased recovery speed after a rush. Makes sense. They kind of need stuff like this. Slightly increases rush speed I mean, kind of just standard, first two standard brown add-ons that you'd expect. I mean, if they didn't have rush speed, I'd be genuinely surprised. But it's like Legion's frenzy speed, where I just wish it would come back. Compound 7 slightly increases the turn rate during a rush. So now we're getting to a Billy kind of add-on, but you need to for this power, so I get it. Chip Monocle displays the target location of a slam, automatically face the nearest survivor after a slam. This could be good just as an add-on in general. Like, even if it's brown, like, I think this could just be good. I'm gonna have to see how it works. It might actually fuck you up a lot if survivors are at certain loops or in certain areas, but you know, I mean, if you slam into a location and there's actually like a Claudette hiding around the corner near you, and it spins you around and faces you that way, when you know a survivor just ran to, like a David King just ran to the left, now you spin around to the right, and it's like, why? Well, now you know someone's right there, and they're closer than the man walking away from you. So I could see shit like that, but I don't know if that guarantees how it's gonna work. But like I said, there's gonna be a lot of testing. There's gonna be plenty of videos on this guy and plenty of videos practicing with him. Next up, we have Shredded Notes. Moderately increases recovery speed after a rush. Standard stuff so far. I'm excited to see what up here. Slightly increases the speed at which rush tokens regenerate. Pastula Dust. Okay, so now we're getting a little more interesting. And Kitty, you want to be in the video? My cat's trying to get into the video. Anyways, I mean, yeah, I knew something like this was gonna happen. The moment you put rush tokens in there, they gotta have recovery rate somewhere. At least they didn't go all out with brown add-ons, yellow and green. They put a little bit of difference, or they put a little bit of uniqueness into each of the add-ons. In the end, I mean, some of them are still going to be, we've seen them before, but at least, you know, that's what they got to do. Otherwise, if they didn't have, like, you know, Canker Thorn, if they didn't have a moderately increasing turn rate while rushing, if they didn't have any turn rate for this guy and they chose some other random shit like, oh, if you hit someone with a lethal rush, you afflict them with a broken status effect. Yeah, but if I can't turn, who cares? Blighted Rat moderately increases rush speed. Blighted Crow moderately increases slam duration. Okay. So I'm interested now about that. Slam duration. Well, I wonder if that's just how long you have it to use the lethal rush again. Or if that's like... I'd assume that that's what it would be. That's the only thing that actually makes sense. Well, we'll have to see. Umbra Assaults. Considerably increases turn rate while rushing. This might end up being like a Drift King Bouncy Billy. And Rose Tonic considerably increases slam duration. There's that one. Okay. I was gonna say, I didn't think we had this as a brown add-on, so that'll be nice. Increase the amount of available rush tokens by 1. That actually seems really nice to have, because I think he starts with 5, so having 6 would be really useful. Get more angles, get more bounce to it. Get a better chance to find the right angle to rush him and hit him. Get that follow-up swing, or the initial. Compound 21 slightly increases rush speed for each consecutive rush. That could be insane, actually. That could be insanely fast on, like, big maps. If you know how to run, say, Temple of Purgation. Run almost across the map, and just when it gets to the edge of you finishing your rush and it's going to cancel you out, hit a tree, bounce off with a slam duration, and then just keep going. I can see that being insane, actually. And then you just have this psycho sprinting at you at, like, 300% movement speed. Moderately increases the speed at which rush tokens regenerate. There it is. Now hopefully these are going to get a little bit more creative. I imagine some of them will. There might be a couple tremendously. I don't know. I haven't actually seen much tremendously recently. So gain undetectable status while rushing. That actually seems a little terrifying depending on how loud the rush is. Because if it's like Billy's chainsaw, I mean, if it quiets the rush too with the undetectable status, then that's nice. But I like it. I do like it overall. I think that's actually really good, but we'll have to just see. Hitting survivor with lethal rush will call upon the entity to block pallets within 16-meter radius of your location for 12 seconds. Okay, so even though it's harder to do, he has his Hex Blood Favor just right there, which means if these stack, it wouldn't shut it down for 27 seconds. I think it would just shut it down for 12, and it wouldn't even shut down the 15, or it shut down for 15 and wouldn't do the 12. I feel like that's pretty decent, but I also feel like it's not, just because you might want other add-ons to make the turning or make the duration better. I mean, I'll give this one like a B rating as far as how I feel about it, because I don't know how else to describe it, because it's good. It's a good idea, but I don't think in practice it's going to be as good as it sounds on paper. Next up, Soul Chemical. Any survivor within 60 meters of a slam will suffer from the hindered status effect. Oh. So, slam into a wall right past the survivor, and now suddenly they're slowed. That could make it a lot easier, especially if you do the monocle to turn towards them right away. Okay. Okay. I like that. That's actually, I didn't think they'd do anything with the slam. I honestly thought slam was just kind of there for the bounce and that's it. So that's kind of nice. That's kind of cool. Adrenaline Vial considerably increases the speed at which tokens regenerate, decrease the amount of available rush tokens. See, now it's nice to think about this and think about how quickly they come back, but you're also limiting yourself now to 4 slams. And the initial one does almost nothing besides set up the other lethal rushes. I mean, you could counteract this by giving yourself, 1 token. So then you have 5 and they come back faster. I can see that as a combo, just the vials, but that's pretty much it. That's all I can see with this. Maybe it's faster than what I'm thinking, but I don't see much use for this, honestly. It just feels like one of those add-ons that are just there just to be there. And then for his Iridescent Blight tag. Upon using all rush tokens, your last lethal rush will put survivors into the dying state. There's the Billy. There is straight up Billy boy. Bouncy Billy. Bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce, and then just go. Seems like it's got to be a lot of setup. Unless now you use this. So you only need 4 bounces, but that last bounce, if you get really good at him, you can then bounce, lighten yourself up, and then just insta-down someone. So maybe this one does have a little bit. This one can be used with this, with having the less tokens. I like this, though. I think this is actually going to be pretty good. Obviously, if you can hit them beforehand, you shouldn't try to waste them. But in those moments where you get those survivors that are just really good at what they do, and what they do is waste your fucking time, then there you go. There's your answer. Waste all my tokens, and I'll waste you. Bouncy Billy has spoken. Compound 33. Oh, when initiating a slam, reveal the auras of survivors within 16 meters of the collision location for 6 seconds. Awards 100 blood points in deviousness category for each survivor revealed. Moderately increases rush speed for each consecutive rush. It doesn't seem bad, but it seems lackluster. I feel like this could have been purple. The 100 blood points, that's literally just the most random shit to throw into an iridescent. Why do you just award blood points and assume that that's all we care about? Like, we want something unique. This is unique. I like this. This is literally bounce to your heart's content, and on your last bounce, fuck them up. This is reveal them, stare at them, rush a little faster. You get blood points. I revealed someone out of loop, but what the fuck is that going to do for me with my rush speed now increased? You want me to just sprint away now because they're out of loop and I can't get a proper angle? Come on now. At least with this, it's like, oh, they're out of loop. Bounce and bounce and bounce away, and then rush down this next person. This one, it seems like if they hit a loop, I bounce, go to the next one, and maybe I rush a little faster each time, but now, how uncontrollable is that? How better or worse do I turn? There's a lot of questions left unanswered, and I mean, maybe it'll be better when it comes out, but 100 blood points for each survivor revealed, you're going to reveal like 1 to 2 survivors. They're not going to be grouped up that fucking heavily. And if they are, it's a Swift, so they don't give a shit. They're going to still bully you. I don't know. I don't like this one. I think so far out of everything that I've read on the Blight, this is the one thing I don't actually enjoy. And I don't like. It's not to the degree of Fuming Mixtape, but it's up there. It's up there. It's up there with the hate that I have for Oni. And Oni I don't even hate nearly as much as Fuming Mixtape, because Fuming Mixtape is just fucking useless. Alright, well, I think that's enough with the Blight. Overall, I love you, Bouncy Billy. I really do. I think I'm going to be playing this boy for a bit. I think he's going to be fun. I think he's actually unique. He's interesting. And his design's good. I like the add-ons, -1. I like the perks. I don't see why I wouldn't play him. I will also be, just because I know some people have probably been wondering, I will be getting Pyramid Head eventually. That will definitely happen. When is a very good question. Whenever I really feel like grinding away at this with Pyramid Head. But I know I'm late to that party, but Blight will be one that I get on the day he's released, and I will be posting videos on the day he's released about him, because I want to get these perks. I want to do perk builds after I finish doing a bunch of videos on him and leveling him up. Might even Prestige 3 him, depending on how his shit looks. And I'll be showing off different builds that I come up with and that I figure out. Because some of these combos I can see, some of them I want to test a little bit out on my own before I bring them to you guys and tell you guys, hey, this is something you should try. Or I could also show you guys the testing period of me failing and or succeeding with certain ones. I know I did that with Legion when I was on my stream when I was doing the Scummy build, and that was actually a lot of fun, finding random shit that works and random shit that didn't work. Yeah. Overall, he's got my vote. I love him. The other thing, too, that I'm going to go over, I'm going to save the Survivor for a different video, just because I want to actually read up on the Survivor before I start talking shit. Because that's just how I am. The new offerings. Sacrificial Ward calls upon the entity to reject all offerings that alter the chance of being sent to a specific realm. This can only be canceled if 4 identical realm offerings are played. I love this. You versus Swift, you know that they're going to try to throw in Haddonfield and or what is it, Heart Locket? I literally play this game all the time. Yeah, Heart Locket. What the fuck? You know that they're going to try to throw in one of those, and then they're going to just throw in a bunch of the Oaks just to distance the hooks. Not these ones, but just gonna completely try to fuck you over, make life difficult. You throw this shit down the moment you see a Swift. I mean, fuck, half the time if I'm not throwing down blood points, or if I'm done grinding blood points, I'm throwing down random map offerings anyway, like Leary's and whatnot. I will definitely throw down Sacrificial Ward and just tell them to go fuck themselves on any place they want to take me. Knowing me, that's going to end up backfiring, and someone's going to actually offer Leary's, and then I'm going to be sad and probably cry on stream or on a video. But next up, we have Annotated Blueprint. Tremendously increases the chance of spawning the hatch in the Killer Shack if the map has a Killer Shack. I don't like the idea of the hatch just kind of being force spawned now. It's like the Bloody Blueprints tremendously reveals yours, the basement hooks to you, or my bad, that's the blueprints. I needed the, yeah, this one, Virgo's blueprint. That's the one I was looking for. Tremendously increases the chance of spawning the hatch in the main building if the map has a main building. Like, why? Why do you want to force the hatch in certain places? Because I could see Swift teams bringing a Haddonfield and then bringing a Virgo's blueprint, or yeah, for the main building, because it'd be the Haddonfield building, and just spawning the hatch somewhere around that area. Or even if it's not Haddonfield, you could do, what's the other one that's... you could do some of the Red Forest maps. Could do Springwood, bring it to the center building. Or bring it to Killer Shack, and then they just do enough gens to get their key activated, and then they get out with the key. Like, if you're going to do this, nerf the keys, at least. Fix them. Fix hatch. Don't make it so easy for them. Oh, is they're only going to do 4 gens and get out, because by that point I should have killed someone, or most killers should have killed someone, so then you got 3 people still getting out. Or maybe they do all 5 gens and then they just get out anyway, because fuck it, right? Bloody Blueprints, though, reveals the aura of the basement hooks to you for 20 seconds at the start of the trial, tremendously increases the chance of spawning the basement in the Killer Shack if the map has a Killer Shack. And then the other one is for the main building, Torn Blueprint, reveals the aura of basement hooks, 20 seconds at the start, tremendously increased chance of it spawning in a main building, if it has a main building. These I'm fine with. Honestly, like, I think these are good for new players. I think new players are going to love these, because then you get a brown add-on, or a brown offering, you got no blood point offerings, or you got none that you want to use and you want to try out some of the new ones. Hey, I got to do a basement challenge. I'm gonna lock this one in. So that's where the basement is. I'll try to down some people near there, so I know the basement's right there. Hey, I'm doing a basement build. Where do I gotta go? Alright, there we go, and I know where I gotta go. Like, I like that. I like that a lot. It's just good for new players. That's really it. I can't see it used for anything else, because seasoned players are gonna know that there's like 2 or so spots for any basement, maybe 1 spot for some maps, and you're just gonna go there. Like, you know exactly where you gotta go. So if I have a basement challenge on the archives, I'm gonna know where to go. Whereas a new player is gonna have no fucking clue where the basement's even spawning. He's probably gonna be like, maybe Killer Shack? Oh, it's not here? What the fuck? Why is it not in the Killer Shack? Can it spawn somewhere else? Well, yeah. Now, let me show you where it can spawn. It'll spawn where you want it to. You want it to spawn in the Killer Shack if it has a Killer Shack? There you go. Oh, hey. He loads into a map that doesn't have a Killer Shack, like Leary's. Well, shit, what am I supposed to do? This map doesn't have a Killer Shack. Well, you still get to see where the hooks are. It's niche ideas and situations, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. That doesn't mean in the slightest that it's bad. It's actually a really, really good idea. If I was a new player, I would love these. I would actually like to know where the basement can spawn most of the time. Especially if I'm just learning the game, just learning the maps. And I got like a bunch of these. I don't care about blood points. I mean, blood points are nice, but I don't want blood points. What I want is, I want to be able to learn the maps. I want to be able to run them. I want to know when I'm near the basement or where it is. And so if I down someone, I know I can throw them in the basement. Make life harder for them. These are going to help me. These are going to be really nice. Sacrificial Ward, I think these are better for the higher end players. Because people at rank 1, people at, well, just red ranks in general, and even some purple ranks, you are going to find Swifts. And when you find Swifts, they want to go to a specific place because they know how to run a specific place, or they know how to bully you on that place. This, there you go. Counter it. Now if they bring all 4, so what? So what if you lost that ward? They brought 4 to get there, you weren't going to do anything. Like, you bringing a map offering doesn't change it. You bringing blood points, probably a waste of time, unless you're playing like a top killer or you play at the top %. Then it's just a waste of time. There's nothing else you could have brought. If they bring 4 offerings for the same place, Sacrificial Ward, you have a better chance of it being used. And if they bring like if they bring a Red Forest to try to get you a Haddonfield, a Heart Locket, and we'll just say Azeroth's Key. Actually, no, Damage Photo, because people love Ormond. If they bring stuff like that and they're like, yeah, we're going to fuck over the killer because any of these maps are perfect for us. Not really. Not really at all. We're going anywhere else. Because that cancels all of them. So now you just have you have 4 realms that are potentially annoying to deal with, just completely locked out. So now what you're left with is a little bit better maps, a little bit nicer maps for killers, and also a little bit more fair maps overall, with not as many bullshit loops. Potentially. Again, these are very specific scenarios, but the idea is there. That's going to probably do it, though, for the Blight for now. And for my initial review, like I said, I will get to the Survivor when I actually read up a little bit on him and whatnot and see his perks in action. Kind of want to look that over before I give my thoughts, because some of them I have read ahead of time, and I just want to see them in game before I say anything. Because it's like with these, I saw them in game before I said anything about them, because initially on paper they all sound good, but in practice I've seen some pretty interesting stuff with them. And some that's given me ideas. The Hex one, though, this is the only one that I saw and immediately thought of just making a Deathslinger one, or it was Deathslinger or it was Freddy, and just being an absolute beast with Devour Hope, because Freddy's already annoying enough on loops. Now you could just keep those Devour Hope tokens going and just shit on people, unless they obviously take this one out. But with the Retribution, that's fine. They take this one out, and now my totems can't jump. Like I said, I just think that's a really fun idea, because if they keep cleansing Devour Hope, that is going to keep revealing them. You have potentially 5 times that you could reveal all the survivors for 10 seconds. And 50 seconds of information, of perfect information, is too good in this game. It's really too good. But that is going to be it for me, guys. Thank you for joining me for this. If you like this video, leave a like and comment below. Subscribe if you aren't already. And just to clarify, I am not a rank 13 killer or rank 20 survivor. I stepped away from the game. So I've actually been rank 1 for 90% of my time on this game. So when I give you some advice, it's not necessarily you have to take it, but it is coming from a place of knowledge. It's not just I started up this game and I started throwing shit out. Thank you, though, for joining me, though. Love you guys, and glad to be back with the videos.